page, we will have that established. So thank you all very much for showing up, braving the first blizzard of 2011. And what time we got? 4:30. 4:30 on the button. So I'm going to introduce my boss. By the way, my name is Jerry Church. I'm with the Association of Central Oklahoma Governments, and again, we're very pleased to have you here and to host this meeting. And I'd like to turn it over to our Executive Director of ACOG, John Johnson.
Thank you, Jerry. Again, welcome everyone, and good afternoon. ACOG is very pleased to partner with the City of Oklahoma City and with CACA to conduct this Intermodal Hub Study. And I know that you are all anxious to hear what this is all about. And that's why the experts are here today from Jacobs, who is the consulting firm that's been engaged by us and our partners to conduct this study. So I am going to introduce Doug Tennant and let him introduce his other professionals from Jacobs. And we'll get right to the meat so that we can get through the process. Thank you very much, Doug.
Thank you, John. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. My name's Doug Tennant. I'm a senior planner here in Oklahoma City, the office of Jacobs. With me today is Allan Zreet. He's an architect and planner in our Dallas office, and Mike McAnella, who many of you all may know of his work here with the MAP streetcar and downtown circulator program in Oklahoma City. We have about, Allan and I are going to lead the discussion this afternoon. We have about 20 to 25 minutes that, if you would, we'd like to present some information and then take your questions and comments afterwards. We had great conversation in the back, and I appreciate you all participating in that. One gentleman has the architecture design all done on the hub, so all we got to do is find the hub location, and then we got the architecture done. But it's exciting. There's a lot of great ideas, and we appreciate you all being here on hopefully a day that'll hold out weather-wise for us. What we're going to try to do today, talk about a project vision. I'm going to let Allan talk about that. Allan's done hubs and has been involved in the planning and the design of them across the country. So I'm going to let him discuss the vision and why an intermodal center and what an intermodal center is. And then show you some pretty pictures through case studies. I think it'll get you excited about what we can do in Oklahoma City and in this region. I'm going to talk about the planning influences, some of the things that we see that are impacting the design and the location of the hub, but also how the hub might impact them. And then finally, start talking about the 10 sites that you saw back there and the 10 times 10 that aren't on that map that have been ruled out before, and then maybe get your input on those from there. So Allan, maybe if you could talk about project vision.
Thanks, Rick. Does everybody hear me okay? Get it from Mike here. I talked to a lot of people in back that said they were really interested to see what we had to say about this and where we were, but I want to let you know we're more interested in hearing from you in this process. So as we go along, if you have questions, you might write them down, or if you have thoughts, please bring them back to us either at the end of the presentation or later in the back, and we can get your comments. The first thing we like to do when we start planning a hub study, because it's not just about a transportation facility, it's really about creating a new image for how people arrive in this region for Oklahoma City. So this is a mission statement, if you will, or a vision statement that we created early on, and it'll probably evolve as we go throughout the project. It's to create a plan for a new transportation center and a gateway, Oklahoma City, in the region, that not only promotes mobility, but enhances the image of public transportation and creates a catalyst for economic development. So we're not just talking about transit here. We're talking about a new civic image. We're talking about mixed use, office uses, maybe a hotel, residential, and so forth, that all become part of this facility, either on that site or around it, that become connected to it. So the elements that we're talking about are here down at the bottom. Interfaces of transportation modes, enhancing urban development downtown, creating a new gateway, and creating a catalyst for new urban revitalization, not only just for downtown, but for the region as well. When we talk about the vision, we also have to look at the stakeholders, because that vision may vary between the stakeholders. So those key stakeholders that we're bringing together, that also includes the community yourselves, is ACOG. who sees the hub as really a centerpiece for regional transit. That's their, regional transit is their mission. So they're looking at the transportation components of this. COPTA is looking at the hub for local connectivity and linkages from a local standpoint. Oklahoma City sees it as a catalyst and a connector for downtown and Bricktown. It's a chance to enhance economic development and bring a better tax base to Oklahoma City. So we've got to understand that everybody has a little different perspective here, and we're trying to bring all those perspectives together with this project. Another element is that we feel strongly that the hub is really going to become what we call a single identifiable project that links all the transportation modes that are being studied. There are a lot of other studies going on out there. We're trying to interface with those. We've got the streetcar system. You've got a fixed guideway study going on. You've got core-to-shore plan. So we're making sure that we integrate all those together. But when you start thinking about transportation in Oklahoma City and all these studies that are going on, this is the one that you can really start to visualize how they all come together. And it really becomes really the identity of the system, if you will, because they're all coming together at one location. Also, on the map on the right, the defined study area is the area in blue. As you can see, this is the core of downtown. This is the COPTA Bus Transfer Center, Greyhound, Union Station. The area in blue essentially is about a quarter-mile radius around that rail corridor, because we did define pretty early on in the process that the hub needs to serve the rail corridor, so that's going to be one of the key defining elements of the project itself. So why do an intermodal center? As I've already said, it's about interconnectivity between transit modes. If somebody's going to arrive in downtown Oklahoma City from the airport, or catch a commuter rail train from Norman or Edmond into Oklahoma City, what do you do when you get there? So it's trying to bring all those modes together. So in one place, we can have commuter rail, streetcar, local bus, maybe intercity bus, high-speed rail connections, and that all needs to be tied together through a trail system as well that connects pedestrians, bicycles, and overall just improves the access to the area. We also would like to talk a little bit about what we call the last mile distribution system of when you transfer from transit to being a pedestrian, how do you get to the areas within those last few feet of that destination? That can be part of the streetcar system, it can be buses, or it can be improved pedestrian walkways that you're already doing with your MAPS 3 plan. And then we also try to look at other elements that can be introduced into the project besides transportation, as I discussed earlier. Office and event space, community services. It's a great location to bring community services together that can be accessed by transportation. Putting in transit-related retail, so you have a certain amount of amenities that can serve the passengers there. And then going beyond that, even off the site, to really integrate mixed-use development in that general quarter-mile radius of the hub or the station itself.